Welcome to the Ben and Walker Movie Show. I'm your co-host, Ben Davis, joined by my other co-host, Walker Holt, and we're excited to have a conversation with you about one of our favorite things in the world, movies. If this is your first time being here with us, welcome. We're so glad to have you. And while you're here, be sure to smash that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the latest content that we have for you. And if you enjoy your time with us, leave us a like, share us around, and of course, comment down below with your thoughts on today's show. Let us know how we're doing, guys. That's how we can improve the show and improve your experience. This is our weekly show where we break down movies and TV news that interest us. Not all, not everything, but stuff that just interests Walker and I. Discuss trailers and talk about some things that we've been watching to let you guys know if it's a must-see, go see it, rent it, or skip it. Now that I got that down and out of the way, Walker, what's up, man?
Oh, not too much. Been a busy weekend. I've been working all week. Well, I we don't have any storage in our house. We don't have a garage. We used to have a linen closet, and the other side of it was a half bath, and we like ate into it to create two full bathrooms and got rid of the closet. We didn't have a laundry room, so we cut two closets in half to create a laundry like space for a stackable. We have like no place to store anything.
Yeah.
And we have an attic, very small and unfinished and not very practical, but also the stairs have been broken on it, which just mean we don't have an attic. So we had a storage unit for a while. That's so dumb. It's so expensive. The storage. I don't know why we did that. Well, I know why we did it, but I don't think it's a good idea anymore. I don't know why. I don't know how the business is so good that they blow up on every single corner in our town. A new storage unit opens every 4 days, and I don't know who all. I guess me. I'm paying them, but we're selling one of our houses across town, and it we need a place to keep like our relics from our childhoods and our Christmas decorations and things like that. So I spent yesterday replacing those stairs. It was hard, a lot of work. Just helped me a lot. You're on mute.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Replacing the stairs.
yeah. So like it was pull down
Yeah.
stairs that come down. Like they were just broken
Yeah.
in half. So we just bought a whole new rig and took the old one down. And you had to put these like support boards up to hold it up, and then climb up there and hoist the thing up and set it down and support it. It was really out of square. Just took a lot of work. My
Yeah,
hands
that
are
sounds
dry. You can
stressful.
see my hands are like bleeding right now. I don't.
Oh,
Like they're. I mean, I've just been messing like insulation and dust and
insulation freaking sucks, man. It's
yeah,
like breathing in fiberglass, pretty much. You have to.
yeah. It was unpleasant, but it's just about done. I'm waiting for it. We had to like spray in some insulation to like fill some gaps and stuff. Like
Yeah,
the foam stuff, and waiting on that to dry so we can trim it out and paint it. And then it'll be done, and we'll have the stairs function though. We can get up and down
that's
there, and
good.
I added a little
Did you
flooring.
did you test them out like Clark Griswold?
I did a little bit. Yep.
Nice,
I was thinking
nice.
about Clark the entire time. I was thinking about like landing
Ellen.
on
Yeah,
top of the bunk bed. His attic is actually quite a bit more spacious than mine.
yeah,
Um, so how you been?
yeah. Pretty good, man. Had a pretty interesting week. I started a new job that requires me to get up at 3:15 in the morning. So completely changes my schedule around, but I like the job. A lot of fun, a lot of nice people. This weekend was Zoe's second birthday party. So that was birthday party, her second birthday, but she did have a party. And it was a lot of fun. It's good to see everybody that came out and had a good time. All the kids that came out and had a good time. And Zoe was really sweet and it was really cool. I cannot believe she is 2 years old. It blows my mind. I blinked and she's speaking full sentences, having pretty much full conversations with me. It's wild.
I
It
bet
is
it keeps flying
wild.
by.
It does, man. I want it to slow down, but at the same time, it's like I enjoy seeing her get older and progress. It nothing like makes me happier, and nothing fills me with as much joy as seeing her get older and cross these goals and stuff that she crosses, these milestones. It's really really sweet and really cool. But yeah, it was a fun weekend, fun week. Ready to start the new week again and all that stuff. Yeah, good week, solid
It's good to
week.
be back. It's our first like normal episode we've had in a while. I mean,
Yeah,
we've been back weekly this year, but it's been kind of best of or
yeah,
catch up or whatever. Like this is our first kind of normal structure type of episode we've had in a while.
yeah.
So
Like, what did we do? We did our
we caught up on like a bunch of stuff we
we
watched
caught
over
up
the
on a
break.
bunch of movies that we watched over the break, and then we did the best of the year, and then we talked about Mean Girls, which if you haven't listened to that podcast yet, go listen to it. It was a lot of fun. My wife came on and talked about it with us. A lot of fun to discuss that. And then we're back with our weekly show where we're breaking down what we talked about earlier, and we got a couple things in the news category that I thought would pique our interest. First up, we got Millie Alcock has been cast as the DCEU or DCEU DC. That's gonna get take some getting used to. DCEU DCU. She's been cast as DCU's Supergirl. This is coming from Deadline. House of the Dragon star or actress Millie Alcock has been landed the coveted role of Supergirl in James Gunn and Peter Safran's new DC universe. The Australian-born Alcock played the young princess Rhaenyra Targaryen in the first season of HBO's Game of Thrones spinoff House of the Dragon. Uh, Walker, what are your thoughts on this casting? Does this excite you in any way? And do you think Millie Alcock will fit the role based off of what we know about this iteration of Supergirl?
Well, I'm not super familiar with Supergirl's work. I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen her like her version in like the Flash and here and there, but not a
Yeah,
lot of stuff on her. So I would love for her to be done well and not be done as
female
just
version
to
of
just to
Superman.
get us a girl Superman. I
Yeah,
don't care about that. I mean, I like her to be interesting and original and impactful. And yeah, I would think Millie's the one to do it. I mean, it speaks volumes that they did that cast change in the middle of season 1 of House of Dragon, which for the record I think is a fantastic show. I love House of the
yeah,
Dragon.
wonderful show.
And they did that cast change in the middle of it, episode 4 or 5 or something like that, and
Hmm.
the uproar of the casting change because people were so in love with Melly already. It speaks volumes. It took 4 or 5 episodes, and everyone's like, "This girl's great," and then we're gonna take her away from you. Everyone's like, "No." Now that being said, the new cast is also phenomenal. They won us over immediately as well, but it just speaks
Yeah, that
volumes
outrage
that
lasted for about a week, and then it was done.
yeah. But it was
But
still it says a lot that she a very critical and very besmudged. I don't know if that's the right word. Just kind of timid Game of Thrones audience after the last season. They, they're a judgy crowd,
yeah,
and she won him over in 4 or 5 episodes. I mean, and won me over. And I don't think I'm as judgy as they are, but yeah, that makes me excited for any of her work, and then especially something big like this, and it just adds to the wonder and that is James Gunn's DCU.
yeah, I'm pretty pumped for it. I know it came down between the actress from Coda, Amelia Jones, and Meg Dolan. I think it's Denali, Denali,
No.
the latter of who voiced a version of Supergirl. I think she was also in Zombies or something like that from Disney. But she beat out those two actresses for the role. This version of Supergirl, because when you think Supergirl, you think of like the super happy go lucky Supergirl, but this is a different incarnation of that. It's very similar actually. You mentioned Flash, like this is very similar to that version. This is based off of Tom King's 2002 comic series, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, where she's like raised on a rock, which is kind of like a chip off of Krypton, and she has to watch everyone around her die and be killed in all these terrible ways. And when she arrives on Earth, she's much more like hardcore, and she's not, exactly the Supergirl that we're used to seeing. She has an edge to her, but still on the inside, she's still that Supergirl, but she has that tough exterior, which I think will be a nice counterbalance to where they seem to be going with Superman. I wonder if she will appear in Supergirl or Superman. There's been some rumors that she might, because there's no director. I know there's a writer attached to Supergirl, but there's no director attached to it. I'm sure that it, they have some idea of who's going to direct it.
Mhm.
But this happens from time to time where actors get cast in certain roles, and then the director of their movie has no say. This has happened in Marvel before too, so I'm not really too concerned about that. I think Millie Alcock will do terrific, and she looks like Supergirl. You know,
Yeah.
I know I saw some outrage saying, "Oh, she's gonna have to put on some muscle mass, muscle size," and it's like, not really. I mean, Supergirl's not known for being yoked. She's not Wonder Woman. It's different. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Let us know in the comment section down below. Is this something you're excited for? Is Supergirl something you're looking forward to? Do you like this casting? Let us know in the comment section down below. But speaking of casting, guys, uh, Brad Pitt is circling the role or one of role in the movie Critic from Quentin Tarantino, which is like supposed to be his last movie. This is coming from Deadline. Quentin Tarantino will be reuniting for a third time with Brad Pitt, which, Inglorious Bastards, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and the director's final film, The Movie Critic. It is unclear if Pitt will play the title character, but I think he is. Last time out, Pitt won Best Supporting Actor Oscar in 2019, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He also starred for Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards. I also think Sony Pictures will be back as the studio distributing the film, with Stacey Shear producing and a 2025 release date eyed. This, of course, this article is written by Mike Fleming Jr. So when he's saying that, I think that's him. That's not me saying that. Um, is this Does this excite you? Reuniting with Brad Pitt? Were you a fan of Glorious Bastards, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? What does this do? Does it move the needle?
Yes, I mean that's a great pairing. Both those movies were phenomenal. Also, I mean, Paul Walter Hauser's still probably attached, right? Or that's the word on the street.
Word on the street, that's been someone that's been heavily rumored. I'm not sure. In this
Yeah,
article, it's not really. I don't think it's mentioned. I kind of skimmed the article.
I like Paul Walter Hauser a lot, and I think he made a fit for a Tarantino movie, and I think adding Brad Pitt. When do you think? I am aware that Quentin Tarantino made the proclamation one day where he said, "I don't want to be one of those directors that makes movies into his 70s and 80s and loses touch with reality and just tries to like cash checks." He was like, "I want to do something like make a clean 10 and then I'm out." Has he revisited that? Is he? I know the whole world has been like, "This is his 10th movie." I know they count Kill Bill as one, but I mean, well, this is his 10th movie, so this is his final. Has he said it's his final movie?
Yeah,
Oh, he has.
yeah. He's saying that this is his final movie. He wants just to make a 10. And he seems like to me to be somebody that like sticks to that. And the more and more people say he's not going to stick to it, the more and more he's like, nope, I'm sticking to it. He strikes me as that type of person. So I do think, I mean, he'll find other creative outlets. He's a pretty creative guy. He's written a book. Like he'll find other creative outlets, I'm sure. But this seems to be like his last movie. Not much is known about the movie. Quentin Tarantino, I'm reading this from the article. The inspiration goes back to a job that Tarantino had as a teen, loading porn magazines into a vending machine and emptying quarters out of the cash dispenser. Quote, all the other stuff was too skanky to read, but then there was this porno rag that had a really interesting movie page. He told Bam Big Boy or something like that. I'm terrible with names. There was one critic in particular Tarantino liked who wrote snarky and smart as the second string critic. I've heard Tarantino did quite a bit of rewriting since then, so we'll see. So, you know, not much is known about this movie, but in terms of, except like it's going to revolve around a movie critic, take place in the 70s. The movie's set in California. Basically, a guy who lived but was never really famous and used to write movie reviews for porno rag. There's not a lot really known about it, but you cast Brad Pitt in this movie. Yeah, this excites me. I thought Brad Pitt and him were an amazing team in Inglourious Bastards. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I mean, Cliff Booth, come on. It's a great character. And that ending scene with him is terrific.
Yeah, he's
Bruce Lee
great in
stuff,
it.
dude. Like he won Best Supporting Actor for a reason. He was terrific in it. Yeah, this team up excites me. Seeing Brad Pitt as a movie critic will be interesting. I wonder how he'll play it because he's somebody who can be really funny.
Oh yeah.
Are they going to play into that? Is he going to be more serious? Is he going to be more stoic, more pompous? Is this going to be like, you know, your snobby movie critic? I don't know. We'll see. But this excites me.
Me too.
Yeah. Guys, let us know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Brad Pitt being cast or circling the casting of the movie critic? Quentin Tarantino's last movie. Are you excited for Quentin Tarantino's last movie? Let us know in the comment section down below. Moving on to a sadder topic. Carl Weathers passed away. This coming once again from Deadline. Carl Weathers, who starred as Apollo Creed in the first 4 Rocky films and hovers largely over, and this is my words, largely hovers over the Creed franchise and appeared in Predator, The Mandalorian, Happy Gilmore, Action Jackson, and Arrested Development, and a dozen other films and TV shows, died Thursday. His family announced he was 76. And, you know, the older I get, the more like 76 still feels young. Doesn't seem old to me, you
Oh
know.
yeah, I agree
Um,
completely.
it
I
does not seem old to me.
My dad's 76. It doesn't feel it. It's very sad though. I mean, Carl's
No.
a legend. I mean, obviously Apollo Creed and Rocky, and then Predator. I think of
Mm-hmm.
that like heavy spoilers. That clip where Schwarzenegger him like flicks
Dylan,
up.
you son of a bitch. Yeah, it's so iconic. It and you just see the rippling biceps, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Carl
And Mandalorian,
Weathers.
his work on
He's an icon.
Mandalorians
Yeah,
was
like
great. He was a good fit for the show.
yeah, he's an icon who left behind a legacy of incredible characters and performances across decades of film and television. You know, talked about the Rocky films. You know, my favorite scene of him in Rocky is in Rocky 3. There is no tomorrow. Like that is excellent. Of course, Predator. You mentioned the Dylan, you son of a bitch moment. It's great. He goes out fantastic in that movie too. Like talk about scary. When he gets his arm cut off, and then you just see the arm hanging, and he still has the one arm with the machine gun. It's crazy. His work in the you mentioned his work in the Mandalorian. Um, he's great in that. He started off, the Mando, like first entrance into the show, and then he directed a couple episodes too, and they were some of the best. I think as episode 4, season 2, where you first see the clone hanging it out in that one little base, and it looks like a Snoke clone. That's really cool. Directed that
Yeah.
episode. Great. Of course, Happy Gilmore too. It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. Loosen the tension, baby. Yeah, he's great, man. And talk about a guy who really he took care of himself too. Like 76 years old, still yoked, still a big
Yeah.
big man. He,
Yeah.
I don't know how many people know this. He was a football player. He played for the Raiders for 2 years. I think he was a linebacker. So he was an athlete too. He lived an incredible life. I saw Viola Davis posted a video talking about, like if your goal is to be a movie star, like that's different than being an actor. Anyone can be a working actor. And if you just continue to work and work and work, eventually you will become a good actor. It was really inspiring, the things that he was saying, and what Viola Davis, the great Viola Davis, posted about him. He will be missed, man. And what an incredible career. What an
Yeah.
incredible career.
Yeah. Big life.
Guys, let us know in the comment section down below. What do you think about Carl Weathers? What's your favorite performance of his? What's your favorite movie of his? What's your favorite moment? Let us know in the comment section down below.
All right, let's move into. We got a few trailers this week. Did you see the trailer for Longlegs?
I did.
That's got a new Nicolas Cage movie, Alicia Witt, directed by Oz Perkins. This looks wild. It looks kind of scary. I mean,
It looks spooky. It looks spooky.
I mean, it kind of has like I don't know, like a Zodiac or Prisoners vibe, but scary. I don't know, like you just kind of like an investigation to a creepy serial killer that gets scary, as serial killers tend to be.
Yeah, it looks really eerie, really creepy. I think you see a couple of shots of Nicolas Cage, but you don't really see him.
Yeah, you hear him.
And you see
You hear him at
yeah,
the end saying like "no" or something.
yeah, that was creepy. And then do you still say your prayers as they're
Yeah, that
removing
was
like the
scary
cross
too.
thing?
Yeah,
That was freaky. I thought the trailer was over and it kept going, and I was like, "This is spooky." It looks interesting. I sign me up for it, man. Hopefully we get it. It's a neon movie. Usually those don't get super huge releases.
yeah.
Knowing
I
my
don't.
luck, we're
Oz
not going to get
Perkins.
it here.
I'm not super familiar with any of his directing work. Looks like he's been in some stuff that he's acted. Trying to find some examples of it. Um, I can't.
Yeah,
IMDb's not really working. Oh, he
I,
was
I,
in. Was he? He was in Nope. Wait, was he really? Huh. Yeah, he was in Nope. He was in Star Trek. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with his work, but Legally Blonde. He played Dorky David, and not another teen movie. Um, I don't know anything. I mean, Nicolas Cage tends to. He's exciting to see.
even if he's in a bad movie, he's always fun to watch. He's always bringing it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, and Netflix put out their like look ahead 2024 trailer. Did you see that?
I did, man. There's a lot coming out in
It,
2024.
yeah, it's hard. There's a lot. Did anything stand out to you as
And
interesting or catch your eye?
it made me stressed out. Like
Yeah,
it just, it's like, oh my god, how am I gonna have time to watch all these movies? There's a couple things that stand out. Obviously, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Thought he was going to be called Axel Foley, but it's just Axel F. Um, Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Love Eddie Murphy. Hopefully this is more like Dolomite is my name and less much like uh,
Coming to America.
Coming to America
Coming to
2, which
America.
was that was rough. I like the Carry On little glimpse we saw of that
Yeah,
with Taron Egerton, Jason Bateman. That could be interesting.
that's
It's Jermaine
that was
Colette
going to be the
Sarah
one. Yeah, that was
who
going to be the one I
who
mentioned.
yep, that looks interesting. Hitman, which is Richard Linklater, which stars
Yep.
Glenn Powell. I've heard good things about that. I'm very interested in what that's going to be and what that's about. Of course, Rebel Moon 2, The Scargiver, Part 2, The Scargiver. Hopefully, it's better than Part 1 because that was a gigantic letdown.
Do you think
Unfrost,
when they're both out, the as the pair, it'll be better, or do you
no,
you think one's just bad?
one is just bad. If they
Okay.
if they if they release it like an extended version of it, maybe it'll be better. I know that they're planning on it. Hopefully, it'll be better. Most of the time, Zack Snyder's director's cuts are better, so we'll see. But regardless, I'll watch it. Unfrosted, the Pop Tart story could be interesting. It's Jerry Seinfeld. It's Melissa
Yeah, I'm
McCarthy. Hugh
excited for that
Jackman.
one, but it's one of these. I'm going to say this again shortly, but it doesn't look very good to me. It doesn't. I mean, like the trailer doesn't look that good. I mean, it looks like oh, there's a bunch of funny people together that probably had fun making it, and it's just not going to be that good. That being said, Jerry Seinfeld is. I mean, I think most people would classify him as legendary in terms of comedy, and he's only been in one movie.
What was that? I know B movie.
That's it.
Really?
I think that's the only movie he's ever been in, and so I mean he doesn't do it, and so it's like he's got to be picky. And I mean the reason he's doing this for some reason, like I mean,
It could be fun. It could be like something like Tetris,
yeah,
which
no,
is
I
fun.
mean, yeah, and I mean I don't mind the brand movies. I mean I liked Blackberry as my top 10. I and Tetris was good too, but it just I trust Seinfeld and the fact that I mean has done so little in terms of his you know post sitcom career. Let me look it up and see if
I
I'm.
mean, come on. Yeah. I was never a big Seinfeld fan.
Oh, I love
So
Seinfeld. Oh God, the show.
yeah.
Yeah, I love the show. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I mean he's just done TV shows. He's done 30 Rock. He's done Louie. He's done Curb. Jim Gaffigan show. I mean, he's just done TV spots like guest stars, and he's done his show, his comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah, the comedian. That's always entertaining.
But no, he's never. I mean, all he's done is B movie. So it'd be, you know, I
B
mean, I
movie.
guess like
Yeah.
he's. I mean, I don't even know how. I don't even know if I've ever even seen B movie.
I saw it when I was a kid. I think I liked it. I think
Uh,
I only saw it once,
I just
but
if something's getting him to get excited about a project, at least I have that faith in it.
and it's about Pop Tarts too. Like who doesn't love Pop Tarts?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
agree.
wild berry is my go to if I'm gonna eat a Pop Tart.
Yeah, wild berry's probably gonna be the best if you have to go the rest of your life on one pop tart. I mean, I try not to eat them as much anymore, but I'm big on the
I don't eat
limited
it.
flavors. Like I love when they come out with a flavor for like a month or whatever, and it'll
Hmm.
be like Fruit Loops flavor. Fruit Loops ones are good.
Did you ever eat the ones? This is very specific. The ones that came out after Batman and Robin, and it had Mister Freeze on it. It was like red
I don't remember.
with blue
Maybe
sprinkles. Always used to
maybe.
like that as a kid. It's been again.
Yeah.
I haven't had that since I was probably 4 years old, but I really enjoyed it.
One of the wild berries, the wild berry, when there a Spider Man one?
Yeah, At
That
one
was
point in
cool.
time, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was really good. And one more that stood out to me was A Family Affair. It's the one with Zac Efron, Nicole Kidman, which they're
Mhm.
reuniting since The Paperboy, where she peed on him. It- I hope it's good. I
Mhm.
hope it's not. I hope it's not a throwaway movie.
Yeah.
But
There was
yeah,
a
those are really the only
there was
things that stand
Benedict
out to me in terms of
Cumberbatch.
movies.
Benedict Cumberbatch looked like he was on like a little mini series called Eric.
That could be interesting. I have become completely turned off to star led TV series. I'd like stop it. Just make a movie. I know that's a hot take, but I'm so done. I'm so done with everything having to be a limited series. I don't have the time. Make a freaking movie. Make a movie. Stop it. I'm just so done with limited series, six episode, 6 hours. No,
Mhm.
make a movie. Make a freaking movie. Stop it. So done. I know that is a hill that I think I'm kind of alone on, but I'm so done. I'm so done.
Yeah. And then
But
Squid Game.
another thing, yeah, it's about to say Squid Game. That was another one. Speaking of series, which I am looking forward to. I like season one.
Season 1 was great, and there is a lot of like lore that I wish they would uncover, but at the same time, I mean, I go back and forth on wanting them to like make their bag and things are successful and it'll make a lot of money, so do what you can, but at the same time it's like God, just make a good show and just wrap it up. It doesn't need another one.
Yeah, there's something satisfying about a conclusive end. It's why I always go back to watch Lord of the Rings, because there is a conclusive end. But when
Mhm.
something keeps going, sometimes um, it can tend to outstay its welcome. I think anyway. But what's the thing that you're most excited for?
On that Netflix thing,
Yeah,
prob probably I had never heard of Carry On before this trailer.
I haven't either, but that intrigues me. I like the director,
Yeah.
Colette,
Let me
Sarah.
preface it by not a whole lot. Like
Yeah,
the trailer did not like be like, oh, Netflix is up to some good stuff this year. It doesn't do that. It's same old Netflix to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
But I imagine it's either Carry On because I like the cast and it looked like it could be good, or Unfrosted.
Yeah, I
But
think
even Unfrosted,
Carry
like I said,
On.
doesn't even look that good.
I think Carry On, Beverly Hills Cop, or much like you, Unfrosted,
Yeah.
which is a pretty cool title. I like the title. It's catchy.
The trailer for Roadhouse finally dropped. I feel like we've been waiting on this trailer for forever. I mean, I feel like I've been seeing like pictures of Jake Gyllenhaal ripped out the frame for a year. Um,
He's someone who can always put on the muscle mass. You saw him, and it's not a good movie, but Prince of Persia. He was
mhm.
jacked for that. He was jacked for Southpaw. He was
Skinny
huge. He looks
for
huge
Nightcrawler.
in this. Yeah, skinny for Nightcrawler. Looks jacked in this. And then, of course, you saw like the big thing that they did at UFC where he got in the cage. They actually like did it at a real UFC event to get the crowd and everything, which was really cool. This movie, the first iteration when they were gonna like remake it, because the first one is a classic, right?
Mhm. Right.
It's a classic. It is B movie like greatness. B movie greatness. The villain drops, I brought JC Penney to this town in the movie. That's how you know. It is 80s just 80s personified. It's awesome. Yeah, it's really good. And then they were gonna remake it back in like 2015 with Ronda Rousey, which would have been interesting because that was when she was like white hot.
Right.
and they decided to kind of pivot away from that. Jake Gyllenhaal's doing it. Doug Liman's writing it. Of course, he wrote a article talking about how big of a mistake it is to put this straight on streaming. I agree. Amazon and MGM, a couple years ago made this big deal that they were going to, you know, put out a lot of movies in theaters, but they haven't really quite lived up to that. This movie should be in theaters, but regardless of that, the trailer looks awesome. Conor McGregor looks perfect. He looks
Yeah.
perfect in this. He's chewing the scenery as a great villain. I mean, he plays that hill role so good
Yeah.
in real life. In a movie, he's dialing it up too, and it looks awesome. It looks awesome.
Yeah, the headbutt looks brutal. Looks like some good fight choreography.
Yeah.
And Jake Gyllenhaal has just kind of earned a seat at any table for me. I mean, he's.
Hmm.
I'm always going to be excited to watch it. I know he's going to show up to work in like something like this, where he's probably. I bet he put in a lot of work to the fighting and everything. I mean, obviously he put in work to his physique and physically, but I bet he put a lot of work into the training and the choreography and everything like that. And obviously Conor McGregor is going to be great at that. I'm excited for it. Should be good. Should be a fun movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Got a pretty good cast too. Looking at all these people that are in it, you have the one of the main actresses from Shrinking is in it, Jessica Williams.
Hmm.
I think she's like the bar owner. You have Billy Magnuson. I think he's like the main villain. That's gonna be cool. You have Daniela Malcurier, or however you. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with names. Who was in the Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. She was great in both of those. She looks great in this. Yeah, I'm pumped for this, man. I wish it were coming out in a theater. Obviously, over at Ben and Walker Movie Show, we are always wanting theater movies, but I will be watching this on streaming. So pretty pumped for it. Looks really good. Looks really entertaining.
Then we have Monkey Man. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about this. I have I so I think it looks good. I mean, I think it looks exciting and interesting. I mean, it looks like Bollywood John Wick. It looks like there's a cool world that they're living in, and I'll tell you what makes me most excited about it is that I think it was going direct to streaming, and then Jordan Peele saw it
Mm-hmm.
and said, "No, I mean, I need to get." And they do it perfectly. Like, of course, they say like produced by Jordan Peele with this monkey face to make it look like weird and creepy. It's like whoever cut the trailer did a fantastic job.
The music is great. I think it looks awesome. Seeing the trailer for this and then Roadhouse back to back, it's like, oh my god, like this is bring it on. Like I want this. This looks brutal. The part where the great parts about John Wick is he gets his ass kicked a lot. Like he gets hurt, and it's like that Bruce Willis Die Hard, like where you can feel, or the Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones, where you feel him get hurt and get his butt kicked. You see Dev Patel get his butt kicked in this trailer, like when he tries to run out the window doesn't crack, and he just hits his shoulder. The scene where he holds the guy down on the stove and then smashes the glass and the fire goes whoa. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
It
I bet it's
looks
gonna be a great
awesome.
time.
And
It
this
looks
is
kind of
his
funny.
yeah,
Like,
this is his directorial debut in terms of feature length. He's done some short films and stuff like that, but this is like his first movie. And I think Dev Patel's awesome. I didn't love The Green Knight. I know a lot of people do. Um, but he was great in that. He's done a lot of great performances over the years, but I'm excited to see what he brings to the table as a director and as an action star.
yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, I think it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, it looks. I'm trying to figure out what Dev Patel was in. He was in Slumdog, wasn't he? Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he
With,
was.
yeah, he was. He was. I'm very excited for it. It looks like a lot. It looks like a great theater experience too. Like so, I think
Hmm.
I certainly believe Jordan Peele. And like anytime, I mean, Jordan Peele is another one that just some people just feel like they can do no wrong sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like, well, if he's liking it, then I bet it's good. You know, so I'm pumped for it. When's it come
What
out?
him put him putting his name on it gives it some legitimacy too, because you
Yeah, I mean, it
know
helps
that
it
if
get
he's
wide.
sticking his
Yeah,
neck out for it, then it gives it some legitimacy.
I'm trying to
I think it
see.
comes out in April. I think April like 6th or something like that.
Okay,
I
April
think
5th.
April. I was close. It's one day
Yeah,
off.
ish. Um, yeah, I'm pumped for it. I'm excited. I'm gonna see it in
Me,
theaters.
me too.
And then we got the latest from Guy Ritchie. We've got the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. What are you thinking about this?
Yes, 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 yes. This looks awesome. I love Guy Ritchie. I think he is a very versatile director. I think he earlier in his career kind of got put into a box as the British gangster guy. You know, with Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch. He kind of got put at Rock and Rolla. Kind of got put into that box. Of course, he also directed Swept Away. I think with Madonna. I think for a brief period he was married to Madonna. But he's someone who kind of got put into a box. But over the years, you've seen him expand his portfolio. He did a King Arthur movie. He's done Sherlock Holmes movies. He did Aladdin, a Disney film.
Yeah.
He did that movie that just came out with Jason Statham not that long ago. That was really really good about the robbing of the bank trucks. No remorse, or it's not no remorse. What's the name of that movie? Ah, it's gonna
Mm,
kill me. A Wrath of Man. Thank you. I was just clicked on his name on Google. Wrath of Man. Yeah, and then of course the Gentleman too, and then the Covenant this past year, which was really good. He's a very versatile director, but this he's kind of going back to that style of kind of a British gangster, but it's not. It's like a war film. It's a kind of like a got a Dirty Dozen kind of feel to it, right? With that
yeah, I think
same
it looks
kind of
great.
tone. Yeah, Henry Cavill looks like he's having a lot of fun. Him making the crazy faces while he's uh, mowing down people with a machine gun. You have Isa Gonzalez in this. Alan Richson just looking huge. Henry Golding. It's a great cast. It looks so much fun.
Yeah, I love Guy Ritchie as a filmmaker. I mean, like I know he did get kind of boxed in as a type, but I liked that type. I mean, I really like Lock, Stock, and I like Snatch,
Yeah, I do too.
and
Hmm.
and I mean, I kind of put this and then The Gentleman are kind of in that world. You know, like where just clever dialogue,
Hmm.
funny, brutal action, and making light of like violent. I mean, he's very good. And then Aladdin might be my favorite live action of the live action like remake. Maybe Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. But I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Yeah, I did too.
pretty much everything about it. I've not seen The Man from Uncle, and that's kind of needs to be on my
That
list. I
is
think.
one of his most underrated movies. It's probably one of the most underrated movies I've seen in a while. It did not do great, but it should have. It should have done great. I know Army
Henry Cavill's in that,
Hammer's
right?
kind of Prasada non grata. Yeah, Henry Cavill is in that as well, and he's wonderful. It's the thing that like leads me to believe that he should be. I know it's the like obvious choice, but he should be the next James Bond. He is. He just looks like James Bond, man. He also looks like Superman because he was Superman. He is still, in my opinion, the goat Superman. But looks fun,
Sherlock
man.
Holmes.
Yeah,
I
Sherlock
always enjoyed the
Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes movies. Yeah, so I'm pumped for it. I mean, it looks like a blast.
Yeah, it looks like a complete blast. I'm pumped for it.
Let's get into stuff that we've been watching though. I've
All
had
right.
a pretty busy week or two leading up to it. Just we finally watched the morning show. You never seen that, have you?
No,
It's
I
on
just
Apple
went
TV
off on
Plus. It's yeah, I know.
a tirade about I'm so done with TV shows.
Morning show gets a lot of flack. People don't like it. I do like it. I think it's the production value is through the roof. I mean, that's what $1 zillion per episode will get you. But it had like Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston and Billy Crudup in it. This season introduced John Hamm, all great performances. John Hamm makes everything better. I think Billy Crudup he steals the show though. He's not somebody that I'm deeply familiar with his work. When I think of him, I think of like Mr. Manhattan in the Watchmen movie,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to think of what else I think of him in. But
I think of Big Fish.
uh, he's great in this. He's like a fast talking executive that's got this like lightheartedness about him that he's awesome in it. The show tag, I mean, it's very like it's Apple, and it was like one of the first Apple shows, and it's very it pushes an agenda pretty hard. You know, it pushes very left progressive things, and whether or not you agree with it or not, it could get kind of annoying just from what they do over and over again. But regardless, it's a well made show. I think it's a well performed show. It's worth checking out if you have any connection to the show, if you like the actors in it, or if you
Okay.
like the I don't know. Another show I used to like a lot was Newsroom, that every with Jeff Daniels,
Jeff
that everyone
Daniels. Yeah.
everyone hates. I think it's a Sorkin show. Everyone hated that show, and I know that like opening
It won a lot
monologue.
of Emmys. It won a lot of Emmys. I've never seen it.
Oh, did it?
I've seen the monologues from Jeff Daniels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I had a great time with that show. And if you, I mean, and like similar to that, it has like a high production value, and I don't know, I liked it. It was good. And I know you have beef with TV shows, but have you seen the TV show Beef?
I have
Uh,
not, but I've heard it's excellent.
it is excellent. It's a mini series though. This you'll like it.
Oh, I'm
But
sure. Yeah.
they do have plans for seasons 2 and 3. He says in his head, but I mean, it's Stephen Wynn, is that his name, from
Steven Yen.
Walking Dead and Nope and Minari and this and that. He's awesome in it. Ali
Ali
Wong's
Wong's
also
in that, right? Yeah, she's
yeah.
great, dude. She's
They're
so freaking funny.
they're both very good. I mean, it won pretty much everything it was nominated for at the Emmys. I mean, the Emmys Succession just cleaned
Dominated.
house.
No.
The and the Bear dominated, and which both deservingly so. I mean, the Succession I consider one of the best shows ever, and the Bear is fantastic too. It's one of the best shows running right now.
Yeah.
White Lotus, I love White Lotus. It ran as a drama. I'm not sure what makes the decision, but I think it would have. I mean, it probably wouldn't have beaten The Bear, but I think it would have done better as a comedy than a drama. Oh, whatever, off topic. But limited
Speaking
series
of,
anthologies. Okay,
I know we're talking about beef, but I have seen the first two episodes of you just mentioned it, the chef show.
The Bear.
The Bear. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, there's 2 episodes in particular, one in each season. All of it's good, but there's one that's in the first season that's basically like a long take. That's basically like 30 minutes of what happens in a kitchen, which is high stress, high chaos, and it's all done in one take, and it's excellent. Then there's a Seven Fishes episode in season 2 that's a Christmas episode about the family that's chaotic as hell, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's the episode I always hear people talk about.
But the show's good. I mean, it's definitely worth watch if you have the time. But Beef, great. Everything it was nominated for in terms of like limited series, anthology series, both lead actors won, and I think it won best series because it's pitched as a limited series, but the director, the creator, says he has ideas for season 2 and 3 if Netflix is up for it. But it was well done. I mean, it's just about a guy who down on his luck, not the greatest guy, but just very normal. Very just kind of made decisions in his life and ended up kind of where he was, struggling. And then a woman who's done the same thing. I mean, they're in different parts of their lives, and one of them is successful, one of them's not. One of them's married, one of them's not, and they almost run into each other in a crowded parking lot, and there's like a road rage incident where they kind of chase each other down,
And that's where the
pissed
beef
off.
starts.
That's the beef, that's all it is. Is that if you remember the show The Slap, where it's just about like some parent slapping a kid in a yard, and like everything that unfolded after this slap, and like all the
I don't
drama.
I don't remember that. Is that like some kind of like fever dream show that you came up with, kind of like Shaquille O'Neal Shazam?
That's Sinbad's Shazam.
Sinbad Shazam.
No, it's a limited series. You wouldn't know anything about it. It but this beef and this road rage just kind of like unfolds into, it gets huge. I mean, the drama gets like larger than life, and things get nuts, but it all starts from this little beef, and it's just well done. It's well performed, it's well written, it's a good show.
All right, I might check it out, as well as a crap ton of other TV shows that are limited series that are currently on my watch list that I'm definitely gonna get around to. Please stop making so many. I can't take it anymore.
And finally, American Fiction came to the theater a month and a half later. I was googling over and over, like,
Must be nice.
yeah. I was
Must be
googling, like,
nice.
when is it coming to streaming? Is it coming to Prime? I was trying to figure out the studio and
You
where
can
it would
currently
come.
buy it for $19.99 on Vudu, and I'm gonna have to do that. I suppose at some point. I wasn't able to this week, but I will get around to it. But what'd you think?
It's very good. I I thought it was hilarious. I think the satire is perfectly executed. I think Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown. I mean, if you didn't even watch the show This Is Us, he plays Randall Pearson in the show. He's hysterical in American Fiction. I think it's so funny. Also, Adam Brody's in it in a little bit role, which he always nails. Anytime Adam Brody is just in a movie for 10 minutes, he crushes it.
That's like his. That's what he's become known for. Anytime he plays a bit part, he's fantastic.
And bonus points if he's an asshole.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
it's really really well done. I mean, I think it's very funny. Some people aren't going to like certain parts of it, certain choices by the director. But I think I know what he was doing with it, and I think he makes the point correctly or well. I mean, he made an impactful point. It's I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but I mean, it's very funny. I will say, it's a must see, and it ended up at a 93 out of 100 for me, which
Wow.
was going to insert it in my top 10.
Oh, so your top 10 has
And
maneuvered. It has changed around.
it
Where does it go in at?
has it lands at number 7 on the year for me, and it kicked Barbie out.
Okay. Okay.
But definitely recommend watching it if
It
anyone
didn't
has
kick Salt
access
Burnout?
to it. See it. It didn't knock Saltburn out. No, it didn't move it. Um,
It didn't kill the
but
groove?
it's murder on the dance floor.
Yep.
Um,
Well, that's cool, man. I am looking forward to checking out American Fiction. I will probably at some point check it out, maybe this upcoming weekend, or if I have time during the week. We'll see.
and speaking of mixing up my top 10, Society of the Snow. Finally got a chance to watch it. I loved it.
Nice, man. Yeah,
I thought
I'm
it was
about halfway through it, and I think it's excellent.
yeah. I won't spoil anything for you. Well, it's a true story, but I still
Yeah,
I'll let it be. I mean, it's brutal to watch. It's some parts
it's tough.
are hard to watch.
It's tough.
They're painful. They something about the direction they make it and the performances, but I just give a lot of credit when they can create like this torture that I can feel through the screen. I mean, like the first. I mean, I assume are they on the ground
Hmm.
where you are in the
Yeah,
movie?
yeah.
I mean, like just the first night, how cold they are. I mean, the way
It
they
makes
they
you
they're
feel
able to
cold.
sell the cold, it is wild.
It's like The Revenant. Watching that, you just
Yeah, yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
cold. Yeah,
Oh gosh, brutal, and it's so sad, and the performances are beautiful. The cinematography is outstanding. I mean, I mean, the Andes Mountains are gorgeous.
yeah,
The direction made you uneasy. It made you wince at times, and I mean, they were just in unbelievable conditions, and it really was powerful enough to make you feel it. That actually, let me find my top 10 list again. Where did I put it? That made it into my top 10. I ended up at a 94 out of 100, which made it go to number 5 on the year for me.
wow.
It did not, if we're going just straight by my scores, um, knocked everything down a peg and gave Creed the boot. Creed 3 down to 11. Um, so I think that's probably, if I had to guess, that's probably going to be my final top 10. I mean, that anything can change, obviously, but I'm down to like one or two movies that I think have even a shot. No, but I don't feel confident in them. But Society of the Snow,
Yeah.
definite must see. You should watch it. It's easy to watch at home. It would have been great in theaters too, though. It would have been,
Yeah, I've only seen half of it, and from what I've seen, it's excellent. I would recommend it as well,
yeah. It
based
is a
off the
long
half.
movie. It's tough to sit and watch,
Yeah, it's
and
like
it's
two and a
you got to be in
half
the right
hours,
mood
right?
for it. Yeah, it's 2.5 hours. You got to be in the mood for it. It's I can easily see like getting caught up in like one of those several day watches on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got a couple more here. I saw The Burial on Amazon Prime. This kind of slipped under the radar a little bit, and really the only thing that brought my major attention to it was just a bunch of movie guys, a bunch of other guys like us that I follow on Instagram that like to like rank things and like recommend things have just said like this little known movie or like slipped under the radar and it's fantastic. It's a definite must see. So I was excited to see it. I mean, it's got Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones in it. I mean, it's got a cast that you want to watch. You want to see him in
Yeah,
a movie. Alan
it's on Amazon
Ruck,
Prime.
yeah. It was the most meh movie I mean, it was okay at best. I I mean, I don't know what the hype's coming from. I mean, it's a David and Goliath story. It's a true story, which gives it a little forgiveness, kind of, because I mean it just is what it
Yeah.
is. But the performances from like a stellar cast were underwhelming. I thought some people. I mean, Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones were fine in it, but a lot of the other people were just I thought completely wasted. I'm being hard on it. It wasn't a bad watch. I watched it on a Saturday morning and it was fun. Um, but the script was a little loosey goosey and wasn't all that. I didn't love the dialogue in it that much. I mean, it was okay. I gave it a 71, a low end. Go see it. I mean,
Okay.
it's on Prime.
All right.
I mean, it's worth watching if you're just bored or something. But I mean, I can't imagine watching it twice,
It's
and I
been
can't
chilling
imagine like
on my watch list for some time now, and I just keep skipping over it. It's probably gonna be like a lot of the streaming shows that I'm just gonna just keep skipping over.
Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately,
people
just because
seem to like it. You know, people are saying it's good. And it's not bad. I just think it's as mediocre as it comes. Just all right.
yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. I haven't really been motivated to watch it though. But that is interesting to hear. Interesting to hear.
And then, lastly, I'll pass the torch over to you here in just a second. Beau is afraid. This movie is very interesting.
You don't say. I haven't seen it, but I've had a lot of it spoiled for me, so I know
Oh, really?
what happens.
Oh,
It's like an odyssey of some kind, and I think I'm good. But I think I think I'm gonna watch. I say I think I'm good, but I think I'm gonna watch it at some point. But because I
yeah.
like
I
the
don't.
director.
Yeah, I. You don't. It's unique based on what I know. I don't think you're gonna like it.
Yeah,
You could prove me wrong, but I don't. You just don't. I don't think. I definitely don't think you're gonna love it. It's a base. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything at all. It's hard to talk about without spoiling anything. I'll wait until maybe you see it one day and we'll talk about it. But it's. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Now, don't look too closely at it. Don't overanalyze the points of the plot. That's not the. That doesn't matter.
it's a movie. It's got to matter a little bit.
Well, have you ever seen like Eraserhead?
Yes,
David Lynch. What do you think of that?
I'm not a fan.
Okay. Or like Fear and it's kind of Eraserhead meets Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Okay, I like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
It's kind of what Fear and Loathing was for drugs. Beau is Afraid is to paranoia and anxiety.
So is it like a 2.5 hour odyssey of fear and anxiety?
Yeah. It's basically it's a 3 hour nightmare.
Sounds like a nightmarish experience.
Yeah. I gave it an 85 out of 100. I thought it was awesome. I enjoyed I thought it was extremely creative. I thought visually, technically, it's absolutely great. The performances are great, and it is the most unique, interesting take. I mean, I don't know if it's got a lot of rewatchability, and it has no recommendability.
Would you recommend this over Saltburn or Saltburn over this? I mean, I know it's your favorite movie of last year, but would
I would
you
recommend Saltburn over this. This, I
really?
mean,
You think
Saltburn.
Saltburn has
Saltburn's
more?
Saltburn. When you take the shock out of it and stuff, I mean, it's just a movie. You know, I mean, you
Yeah,
can. I mean, it's a movie with a. This isn't necessarily a movie. This is an experience. Got to get in the right headspace to watch it. It's interesting. I'm glad I watched it. I really enjoyed it. I'm interested if you ever see it to hear what you have to say. My guess is you won't like it, but I didn't like
I
Eraserhead. To be clear, I do not like Eraserhead. I think it was too much for me, and it was just hard to even like get through. I
yeah,
did love Fear and Loathing,
yeah.
so I'm in the same boat as you on that, and I am. That's the only thing I can compare them to is Eraserhead and Fear and Loathing. But with Joaquin Phoenix, I mean, it's wild. I mean, there's a bunch of little like things that you can like dig deeper into and get the meaning of, but a lot of it's just like, what the heck? I mean, it's really hard to explain
A lot of it's
without.
kind of like utter nonsense.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to form my opinion before I see it. I'm going to stop my thoughts right now before I say anything about it. I
Yeah,
hate movies that do that kind of stuff. But who knows? Maybe I watch it and I love it. You never know. I
unlikely.
mean, movies are subjective, and at some point, I will probably sit down and watch it. Much like uh, American Fiction. I don't know if that would probably make a good double feature. Probably not. If I were to guess.
It's long. It's 3 hours long. That's my biggest complaint about it. It's too long. It is too long. You feel the length a little bit, not that much because it's kind of a adventure. Like it's kind of a oh, we're going to stop here and do this part of the movie for 35 minutes. And then we're going to the next level and we're going to do this part of the movie for 35 minutes, which kind of helps with the length a little bit,
Mhm.
because it's a bunch of like mini like experiences, sort of, or levels almost. I'm trying to think of another movie off the top of my head that reminds me of it. I can't. But it is long, and I mean it is 3 hours long,
Yeah.
and it's not quite that coherent. So you can it can just kind of be, it's like an anxiety attack the whole time, and it can kind of get exhausting. But different than like Uncut Gems. It's not the same as Uncut Gems because there's, I mean, you just got to see it. It's hard.
Well, Uncut
It's
Gems
one of the,
has a story and a
well,
narrative.
I know, but the anxiety aspect of it, which I'm saying can be like exhausting in it. Like in
Yeah,
Uncut Gems, you leave the theater like tired.
you leave it tired, but like I think the reason it might be more appealing is because it actually has like the story and the through line and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I just mean the anxiety aspect of it. It can
Yeah.
it can wear you out, which I think plays to the length of Beau is Afraid. But we'll see.
Okay. We'll see. Hopefully, I will get around to checking it out one day. I do plan on watching it. All right. Does that kind of wrap up all the movies that we've been talking about? Kind of wrap it up a little bit.
Pretty much, pretty much.
All right. Well, this week was so busy for me, man. I had so much going on. I was really only able to catch two things. One is a rewatch. I rewatched Dungeons and Dragon: Honor Amongst Thieves, and it was so much fun. It's such a fun movie, man. It did not do as well as it deserved at the box office. It's a great ensemble. Thought it was great on rewatch. I know I've tried to rewatch it with Carly a couple times, but each time when we try to watch it, it's late at night. We both fall asleep.
Hmm.
But it is so good. The Jonathan part always gets me at the
I've never
beginning
seen
and
it.
at the end. Dude, it's a lot of fun. I gave it a must see when it came out. I've only grown to love it more on this rewatch. It probably would have cracked my honorable mentions. This year was really tough. Didn't crack my top 10, but really good movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a mix between Knight's Tale and Guardians of the Galaxy, if I could compare it to anything.
That's cool.
Which
That
is
sounds good.
yeah,
Those are
yeah.
both great. I love Knight's Tale.
A Knight's Tale is wonderful, man. Love that movie. It's so much fun. The soundtrack is wonderful. And the ensemble's great too. This is very similar to that. The fantasy elements it plays into are great too. It's really funny, a lot of fun, a lot of good adventure. Cast is great. Chris Pine, of course, great cameo in there too. Midway through the movie that I thought was great.
Are you a D&D
Yeah,
guy?
no, I've never played D&D,
Me
but
either.
I love the idea of maybe playing D&D at some point. I feel like that would be a lot of fun to play, but I feel like you have to be like really invested into it, and I just do not have the time to do that. So, but yeah, a lot of fun. I would highly recommend this. I gave it a must see when it came out, and I still stick to that must see. So the only new release that I saw or new anything that I saw was Argylle. Um, you and I have talked about this, how excited we were for it. You didn't get a chance to check it out. So I'm not going to get into spoilers because both of us haven't seen it, but it's very difficult for me to get into the plot of my overall feelings on this one without spoiling it.
Hmm.
But in general, I'll say this: I think this movie is about one or two twists too many, about 20 to 25 minutes too long, and I think Baloo obviously disagrees with me. He's shaking his head in his kennel. I, I sometimes feel like this movie is a bit wacky tonally. It kind of struggles, and I do feel the movie probably would have benefited from an R rating because it does feel like at times some of the teeth have been removed from the violence that the wacky violence that Matthew Vaughn typically does. That said, despite those issues, I still enjoy the movie and was entertained by it. I thought Bryce Dallas Howard was great. Her chemistry with Sam Rockwell was wonderful, and I love Sam Rockwell. He reminds me so much of one of my best friends, Hunter. He's fantastic in this. I buy him as the action star. And speaking of action, the action and the style of this movie is very much Matthew Vaughn. I am a big fan of him. I always appreciate a director who has this a signature style to them, and he is one of those directors where you turn on a movie, you can tell it's a Matthew Vaughn movie if he directed it. Like it's very very much a Matthew Vaughn movie. You can tell, and I appreciate his style. Again, always appreciate a director who has a very signature style. In particular, there is a sequence involving a colorful like smoke that I think is freaking awesome with a cover of Run by Snow Patrol. I think Leona Lewis does that version. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know in the comment section down below if she's the person that does the cover. I think she is, but I think the cast as a whole seems like they're on board for what is ultimately a very ridiculous movie. This movie is absurd. I do understand why a lot of people seem to not like this. I think the Rotten Tomatoes score was like 36 or 38 or something like that. It was very low. It has issues, including a somewhat like predictable plot in terms of like, oh, there's this twist. You're just like, okay, well, I saw that coming, a mile away. Even though there's so many twists in this movie, it's very convoluted. And I will also say, without giving any away, um, this has a misleading marketing campaign. Um, do not expect a lot of certain people in the movie, but the entertainment value for this one was very high for me. So I would give it probably around a 73%. Go see it.
Hmm.
This is a go see it for me. Are you planning on checking this one out?
Yeah, I'll try to see it this week. I'll try to. That kind of. I mean, I don't want to say it bummed me out, but I wish it. I didn't have my hopes weren't through the roof for it of being like ended up being like a favorite of the year or anything like that. But I was hoping I would really be enjoy it.
I mean, I still really enjoyed it. Like I still had a lot of fun with it. There's issues there that are very present, but I
You
think
like you like Kingsman?
oh yeah, I love Kingsman the first one. I love the second one. I love the King's Man.
Yeah.
I enjoy pretty much all of Matthew Vaughn's movies. His Stardust is so underrated.
Hmm.
So underrated. I love that movie. Kick Ass, obviously, great. The first X Men, First Class, is wonderful. Love that. I think he's one of those directors who has very clear style to his films that I think stands out. And I think either you buy into that or you don't. Sometimes he goes very wacky, like he does with Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Like that movie is insane.
Hmm.
But I think to me, I bought the change in tone in that film because it the first one is building to that because by the time you get to the end of the first Kingsman movie, it is very wacky, and then Kingsman: The Golden Circle just continues that. This is also very sometimes tonally it doesn't really match up. I don't think he balances it as well in this one, but the cast is so good. I think everyone's having a lot of fun in this. Clearly, there's also some visual effects. See how I keep going back and forth. It is kind of mixed, but ultimately, I still had a lot of fun. The VFX were, and VFX to me is always like a nitpick because
Yeah.
it doesn't really affect the story as much unless it is egregious, like Modoc and Ant-Man 3. But this isn't quite to that
That's
level.
not that bad.
It's awful.
It took me a
It's
second to
awful.
realize what it was.
Yeah. No, I think this movie is. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm curious to see where you will land on it. I think you'll probably have fun with it. Because do you like Kingsman, that
Yeah, I
franchise?
like Kingsman a lot. I like the franchise. I like the first one a lot. I like each one less as it goes on. I mean, the King's Man. I mean, I love Ray Fiennes, so I mean, Ray Fiennes. I think the yes, I really enjoy. I like Matthew Vaughn's work.
Okay.
And this Kingsman's probably my favorite. And this looked. I just like the cast. It looked quirky. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
The so you think the CGI is a little wonky in it?
Yeah. There is
It
some
looked a little
pretty
wonky in
bad
the trailer
CGI.
with the cat.
There's more stuff.
Okay.
There's more stuff that it's pretty glaring, but it's still fun. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I give it like a 73%. Again, I completely understand anyone that does not like this movie, but I had a lot of fun. And again, I love the set piece at the end with the smoke and the song choice. It is hilarious and awesome and just so ridiculous and wonderful. I love that sequence a lot. Yeah. So guys, let us know in the comment section down below. Did you see Argylle? What do you think of Argylle? I know it's not doing so hot at the box office. I think it made 1.7 at its opening night, 1.7 million. Um, but yeah, let us know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Argylle? All right, with that down and out of the way, let's get to things that you and I have both watched. Now, obviously, when we get to things that we have both watched, we're going to discuss them openly. So that includes spoilers in both these conversations. So if you don't want to hear spoiler conversations here, uh, tune out and come back whenever you see what we're going to talk about. First thing we got up is Ted. What'd you think of Ted?
I loved it. I thought it
Isn't
was.
it
I
great?
thought it was.
Isn't it great?
Yes, yes, it was perfect. I thought it was hilarious, and I mean, it was on a rate of like. I mean, I'm a big Seth MacFarlane fan. I don't watch like Family Guy. I don't watch any of this. I watch. I'm sorry. I love Family Guy. I don't watch it like on the regular though. It's more of a just
Yeah.
catch it type of show.
So I
But
used I used to watch it religiously, and then
uh,
I fell off probably around 2015,
mhm.
2016. But I used to watch it religiously, and it was so freaking funny. I mean, Stewie Griffin. I haven't done a Stewie impersonation so long. I used to be so good at it. Will Wheaton. The Haley. Yeah, I used to be able to do like really good
Hi
impersonations.
Lee. Is that Desiree?
Brian, this is me, Lee Bryan. Who's it to the ring? You know, I love that. I
No, I
love
mean I
that
think
bit.
it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. I think Family Guy is great. And I'm sure all the shows are great, but I've barely seen like American Dad or Cleveland Show
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those.
or I mean just not much of them, but I'm sure they're good.
No.
And Family Guy's hilarious, and I'll watch it when it's on. I love the cultural humor. I think Seth MacFarlane's brilliant when it comes to comedy. I think he's very
I think
very
he is.
funny.
Whenever you hear him speak, he's really smart. You can tell he's really
Yeah.
smart, and he's an incredibly gifted singer too. I don't know how many people know that, but he's like really a terrific singer. And if you like, I think if you like Ted 1 feels like a movie. Ted 2 feels like a bunch of episodes crammed together to make a movie. I still love the episodic nature of that film. I think that movie's almost as funny as the first one. Still really good. This is the I think this is the perfect way to continue Ted. I was a little nervous because like, okay, like do we need more of Ted? Like I just said, like I'm so done with everything having to be, oh, this is a limited series, or oh, this gets a series. It's like please stop. Like I feel like beat to death by everything getting a series. But this works. and it's so funny. It's like 30 minute. It's like 30-minute episodes, isn't it? Or are they all an hour? I forget.
No, it's a range. It's they're like
Yeah,
30 to 50, 30 to 45, somewhere in that range. Like
yeah,
they change it up, but I agree. I think it's very good. And I was nervous. It's like, well, this doesn't have Mark Wahlberg in it, and Mark Wahlberg's not necessarily why I like the movie, but anytime you're changing that up, it's like, okay, Max Burkholder, he's awesome in it. I think he's great, and I think he's the perfect side guy, and he sounds like Mark Wahlberg. He's doing a great Mark Wahlberg impression the whole time.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
Ted's
I
the star of the
love.
show. I mean, Ted's so funny. Sorry.
Well, I love. What's the actress's name that plays their older cousin?
Oh,
She is the
Georgia Wingham.
Yeah, she is the perfect straight man
Yeah.
for for their antics. She is so good. She plays like the older cousin, older sister role so well. I love the episode where Ted is the DD
Yeah.
and the shenanigans that they get into, like the scary movie, and then she keeps trying to get him to be his DD by popping up and scaring him, and he's just like, "Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, fuck, you win." It's so good.
I mean,
I
I don't
just
know
I
how the
think
writers even do it. I don't know how they think of so many jokes because it's a joke. It's two jokes a minute, and
yeah,
honestly, like I mean that this is a huge compliment. I mean, over 90% of the jokes really hit for me. I mean, so,
the
I mean, there was
actor
the
the
what?
actor bit that they hire the security guard where he's doing
Oh,
the Pippin
where's
bit.
yeah.
Dude, that was so funny.
I like just the little cultural references, the little lines that they'll say. Like even when like it's like who thought of the joke when they were in sex ed class and he was like, you got gonorrhea, herpes, hepatitis A, hepatitis C. He's like JFK, blown away. And he started singing weed and start. I think that's
when he
so
goes
funny.
off on the one when he goes off on the one girl, dear God,
Oh yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
when
Yeah, when she's making fun of the sub or his mom.
yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was funny, but also real harsh. And then the dad's Vietnam story, real freaking
Yeah.
funny and random. Uh,
Yeah.
it's just the show itself works so well. We keep saying, "Oh, this is funny, this is fun," but I think the reason the show works so well is because, like you said, it's a laugh a minute. It's a laugh a minute. It's fresh, breezy, and the perfect kind of show, right? Like to
Yeah.
me,
It was the first show in a while I laughed out loud several times watching it. I
Mhm.
mean, like I watched it by myself and I would I mean I couldn't stop. It was hilarious.
Yeah, there were several times where I was watching it because Carly didn't watch it with me. I would have my headphones in and I'd be sitting on the bed watching it on my phone and just dying laughing. I would wake her up from just laughing my ass off. But yeah, I what would you give season one? Because they're definitely going to do season two. This did really good numbers for Peacock. What would you give this season one?
I mean, it's definitely a must see. I mean,
Yeah,
in terms of number, I really liked it. I mean, it would be in the 90s. I mean, I
yeah,
can say. I mean, it was
like the show.
it's comedy gold for me. I mean, it hit every funny bone I have. I mean, I think it was. I mean, I don't know. It would be a must see in the 90s. What would you say?
Yeah, I agree. I would probably have it in the '90s must see. This is really good stuff. Really good stuff. Really breezy. Really freaking funny. This is the hardest I've laughed at any show I've seen since Righteous Gemstones.
The God, it really was funny, and it makes me want to rewatch the movie because I like the movie. I like both movies, and I like the first one more. But it's been a while since I've seen them, and I don't remember like I don't think it would be on my like top 5 comedies of all time. But like this show, I mean, it really got me. I mean, I thought it was. I mean, maybe it's recency bias, but I was laughing hard the entire time. I thought it was.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying
and
it's like the highest quality, but I mean, it was good, but it's just funny.
and the show does talk about some interesting topics too, right? I thought anyway. Comes at it from it's obviously it's really funny, but it comes at it's got some heart to it as well, and I think that's what makes it funny. It's not just crude; it's got some heart to it, and I think that what makes it work. So must see for both of us. If you have Peacock, definitely check out Ted the TV show. All right, last thing we got up here is speaking of funny things. What about some poor things? Walker, both you and I got around to seeing this. It seems like both this and American Fiction expanded this past weekend, and I unfortunately did not get American Fiction, but I did get Poor Things. Where did you land on this? Does it live up to the giant expectations that were placed upon it?
Yes and no. I mean, it the direction I thought was extremely creative and unique and interesting. Yorgos Lanthimos. I never know how to. Yorgos. I'm just gonna call him
Larthamos,
Yorgos.
Yogos
Um,
Larthamos. Yeah,
I mean, he had a very interesting vision and I think achieved it. Performance wise, Emma Stone is awesome. Mark Ruffalo is great. Willem Dafoe is great in it too. I mean, the performances are fantastic. Like visually, it's marvelous. It's very it's beautiful to look at. It's very funny. A lot of like one liners and dry humor. It's quite funny. I will say, like, everything put together though, it doesn't. It's probably my second least favorite Best Picture nominee. Like, it doesn't. Not it's not bad. I've got it as a must see, and I mean we're talking best of the best here. I ended up on an 87 out of 100 in a must see, but all of the parts put together, like, as interesting as it was, and as talented as the people involved were, and how successful they were at doing what they set out to do, it just didn't make a movie that, like, I'm dying to see over and over again. Like, it just doesn't. I mean, just the movie it's I don't I'm having trouble even, like, putting what I'm thinking into words. I guess the parts were greater than the sum.
okay. Like, so I think I agree with a lot of what you said. I think the direction here by Yorgos Lanthimos is Lanthimos, however you say his last name, is terrific. I think it's incredible. I think the set design and production design is marvelous. Like, it looks so good. The score also is really good too.
Mhm.
I think that really works. It's just like this weird thing. It's like it's really good. Performances. Emma Stone gives a fearless performance. It is incredible. Mark Ruffalo does something that I've never seen him do performance wise. I think this is really good stuff. Career best stuff for him. Unfortunately, for him, this is a who's who of who
Yeah.
in the best supporting actor category. But all those parts really work. I also think this is a beautiful story of self discovery. Beautiful, weird, and funny. Like, this movie's really funny, even at times where I feel like I shouldn't be laughing. Like when Willem Dafoe is talking about the stuff that his dad did to him and stuff like that. It's really ridiculous and funny, but I feel about this movie, even though I know, like, narratively and structurally, I think this is a better movie than. Why am I forgetting the name of the movie is Bradley Cooper movie, Maestro? So, like, I
Maestro.
feel very similarly to how I felt about Maestro, where I appreciate it more than I like it or love it. I say I would probably give this a go see it. It is like the 79, 78% range for me.
Hmm.
It doesn't have that emotional wallop that I look for in films. It doesn't get me in that way. It doesn't stimulate me as much intellectually either. It's very weird. It's very unique. It is insanely original, and how it tells its story. Because there's no such thing as original story. There just isn't. There's like seven kind of stories that you can tell. But the way in which you decide to tell it is what makes it original. And the way that this story is told is very original. It's very. I haven't really seen much like this. This is very unique, but I I didn't walk out going, "Oh my god, this is best picture." I walk out going, "Okay, this movie's really good, performance wise. It's hilarious." But the way that you said it, like the sum of the parts are better than the
I
thing
think
put
the
together.
parts are better than the sum.
Yeah, parts are better than the sum. Yeah.
Um,
And that's kind of where I land on it. Like I think it's really good. It would not crack my top 10, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
yeah, I feel so. And to be clear, I said it's my second least favorite best picture nominee. My least favorite's Maestro, and I don't hate Maestro. I like Maestro, but
Yeah.
it's my least favorite. I haven't seen Zone of Interest either. And this movie's tough be tough to recommend again. I mean, it's very out there. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
wild.
it's a it's a tough recommend because it's like all the people that I know that watch movies, my film people I would recommend it to, but like other people, there's not like a wide audience. I don't think for a film like this.
Yeah. I mean, the cast is doing its best favors. I mean, people love Emma Stone and Mark. I mean, that's going to get people, I guess, the most, and
Do
the,
you
the the
think
the
Emma after
recognition
seeing
at
this?
the Oscars.
Do you think after seeing this movie that Emma Stone is a lock for Best Actress?
No, I don't think she's a lock, but I certainly would not be upset if she won.
Yeah, I kind of feel
It
similar.
wouldn't bother me. But no, I don't think she's a lock. I mean, I really like Lily Gladstone's performance.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at too. Lily Gladstone to me is still the best performance, period, of the year. But
Carey
best
Mulligan,
actress for sure.
Sandra Hill. I mean, it's a tough race. I mean, I could see it going in. I haven't seen Naiad yet, but it's a tough.
She's
I,
wonderful in Naiad.
I mean, it could just really go a lot of different ways. And you mentioned like original stories and I mean there's another movie that's also nominated for Best Picture that has the exact same story almost.
Yeah, yeah. Barbie.
There's-
This is weird
yeah,
Barbie.
yeah.
This
This is Oscar Barbie.
yeah,
this,
yeah, pretty much. Like
this is Searchlight Barbie.
this is A24 Barbie. No, you're right though. Like the similarities between Barbie and this are very very much there. I think, given the fact that I've seen Barbie like 4 times, I think Barbie is a messier movie, but I would recommend it more and I would watch it more than this, which I think is a better made movie. I think it's not as entertaining, it's not as I think it like you said, I think yeah, they're very comparable. I think that's that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's fine. I mean, I love Saltburn, and that's clearly takes inspiration from a 20-year-old movie, 25-year-old movie. I mean, it definitely. I mean,
yeah,
like you said, there's 7 stories to tell. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it was. I'm glad. I'm glad it finally got an extension or an expansion. I'm
yeah.
glad I got to see it on the big screen. I double featured it with American Fiction, which was a fun day in the theater. So yeah, I mean, and that's Poor Things.
That is Poor Things, man. That kind of wraps up our show this week. That's all we had,
It
unless you have
does.
anything
I'm
else to
trying to.
add.
I'm trying to look up what comes out this week and what might
Yeah,
look interesting. It's not. We're in a slow time of year.
we're in a
Yeah,
dumpuary.
we're
Things
having a
don't
lot
really,
of re-releases. We're having now Dune is getting re-released soon in theaters and IMAX, and I'm going.
as you should. As you should. Yeah, there's
All
not.
the Pixar stuff that came out during COVID is coming out in theaters.
Yeah, there's not a lot coming out. It doesn't appear. Um, I know
I mean, really nothing.
I have my Dune ticket ready to go see it Friday at 3 p.m. When that comes out. Dune Part Two.
Oh, okay, okay. I should probably get my ticket too. I can't wait for that. March is when we really start cooking with movies. I guess I should take advantage of it. I mean, we want to talk about more, but I got my list is so long. I just got to catch up on stuff. I guess I'm gonna take advantage of a dull week
Yeah,
and
maybe if you
releases
cut
and
down on the
catch up.
streaming shows you watch, well, maybe if you watch more.
I just disagree. I think TV shows are necessary, and they dive deeper into characters and they
Listen,
make you feel
I
more.
love
The
TV
issue is the
shows.
time
It's
commitment.
it's the idea. Like I love the idea, but it's the how practical is it for me to be able to watch all these shows? It's not very practical. It's a me problem. I'm aware. I'm aware.
I've been complaining about my list for years. I mean, it's an everybody problem. I get it. I mean,
It's just, but it is ridiculous because like there's so many issues with everything getting a TV show. I feel spread thin like butter on too much bread. To quote Lord of the
final
Rings.
season of Curb Your Enthusiasm starts tonight, which I think is awesome. I think it's a great show.
I've
But
never seen it.
just keep. I know. Well, I don't know what we're gonna watch this week. I guess we'll catch up and do a little hodgepodge of stuff next week. But is there anything else you have to add?
Nah, I'm all tapped out.
I guess that does it for this week. Thank you all again so much for listening. If you're hearing this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thanks for watching. If you're catching us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe for more movie talk each week. Let us know in the comments down below, what did you think of Poor Things, American Fiction, The Ted Show, Argylle, Beau is a friend. Let us know what you watched this week and what you thought of it. But with that said, this has been Ben and Walker, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.